Hi guys and welcome back to my video. Today we are talking through my empties. I mentioned in my last empties I think that I'm going to be filming these every 4 months instead of every 6 months, so 3 times a year. It just works a little bit better for me because I would love to get this essentially rubbish out of my house. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to organise and then let's get started. Okay, so let's start with what is in my opinion probably the most boring thing that I finished, because I always finish lots of these, and that is dry shampoo. I have finished 5 like classic Batiste dry shampoos, 4 originals and 1 blush. This is actually the Christmas packaging for the original, but yeah, 4 originals, 1 blush. For most people that have fine hair like I do, dry shampoo is just a necessity. I'm gonna have to put these down. I use it whenever I want to add texture to my hair. I use it when my hair is oily. I use it if I'm going to curl my hair. I do find it helps kind of hold the curl a little bit more. I love dry shampoo. I've been using it for 20 years or so. Just essential for me. I love the Batiste one. I just think because the Batiste one is so good, in order for me to justify an even more expensive one, it would have to be even better. But what I do really like, and is a little bit more expensive, not wildly, but a little bit, is the Batiste naturally dry shampoo. I just find that the scents aren't as like in your face. I really like this scent, which is the coconut milk and hemp seed. I find these add a little bit more texture to my hair, but maybe not quite as powdery as the other one. I really like these. I think if you do really love the Batiste one and you're willing to kind of spend a couple of extra pounds, it's worth just trying these out. I don't know if I'll always repurchase these, but I feel like it's nice to have a bottle of this and a bottle of the other one and kind of like switch between the two. Sometimes I run out of dry shampoo and I don't have time to go to somewhere that sells Batiste. I pick up the Lidl version. I have one of these on a go at the moment. I do find it's not as like powdery as the Batiste, but for me that is a negative because I find that it doesn't absorb oils quite as well, and I find it doesn't quite add as much texture as I'd like. That's if you find the Batiste one a bit much, maybe give this one a go, but for me personally, I feel like I have to use way more products of this, whereas with the Batiste I can just use a little bit less. I think I've mentioned this before, I feel like maybe this one's not as researched as the Batiste, and I do feel that sometimes like questions arise around how good dry shampoo is for you. I actually don't think there's any validity behind those claims that they're not very good for you, especially if you are also washing your hair. I don't think you should use dry shampoo and then just like keep using it for 7 days and keeping it in your hair for that long. It can like clog up the pores, but I'm washing my hair pretty much every other day, maybe every 3 days. So dry shampoo for me is just almost a styling product more than just to keep it clean. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I've clearly had it too long. They no longer sell this. This I think I've had really long. I don't want to guess how long, but maybe embarrassingly long. It is the Tony & Guy matte texture dry shampoo. As the name suggests, it probably adds a little bit more texture than a standard dry shampoo, but I do find that it makes it a little bit stickier. I also think that all dry shampoos are matte, or at least the majority, so I do feel like, I don't know, adding the word matte into there is interesting. And I also finished the Lazy Girl dry shampoo by McKnight. McKnight does some really good products. I do have Cool Girl. I actually haven't got it in my hair at the moment, but I have been using that quite a lot. This is £24, so significantly more than a Batiste. I think in order for me to like justify this price, it would have to be significantly better. I don't think it is. I think it's probably similar to the Batiste in like finish. The packaging though, obviously beautiful. I couldn't warrant the price really. Then onto regular shampoos. It seems impossible that I've finished just one shampoo and 1 conditioner, but I think it's because I've almost within the next couple of days finished with my current shampoo and conditioner. This is a Pantene Volume and Body shampoo. Now I had seen lots and lots of people on TikTok rave about the Pantene Volume shampoo, but that's in the US. I think this is probably not the same as the US one. I had seen a lot of people online talk about how it's quite good to not use the same range for your shampoo and your conditioner. The reason being, you kind of need different things. My roots, for example, really need to be cleaned, so a slightly more clarifying shampoo is way better for me, or a volumizing shampoo, typically they kind of go together, is way better for me. But my ends are quite dry and they're coloured, so I need a more hydrating conditioner on the ends, and so I think going forward that is actually something I'm going to do. I think it works much better for me, but I decided to give this a go. This was hard to find. I think I only found it in Tesco, and someone had to pick it up for me because I don't go to Tesco that much. Really affordable. I liked it. I don't think it was as amazing as TikTok made it sound, which is why I think it's probably not the same formula as the US one. I would be very interested to try the US one. The other thing is I really just like affordable shampoos and conditioners. I like affordable things across the board, and I think that's something we'll talk about as this video goes along. I think in order to warrant a higher price tag, nowadays you have to be doing something much better, which is really hard because I just think the drugstore has come so far in recent years. My Holy Grail conditioner, and I do like the shampoo as well. I'm actually using the shampoo at the moment, but I do think I could do with a more clarifying shampoo than this. But this is the L'Oreal Elvive Colour Protecting Conditioner. I just think this is great. I like the smell. There's something comforting about the smell. I think if you use a shampoo for long enough, the smell becomes comforting. I just find it really nourishing. I have coloured ends, and so I like the colour protect of it. I just love this. Really affordable, really easy to find, even abroad. So the L'Oreal Elvive range across the board I love. They do a volumizing one that I also like. I mean, all of them I think are quite good depending on what your hair is like, but the colour one is probably my favourite, and especially the conditioner. I don't think the shampoo is quite for me. Talking about not for me, occasionally I am sent stuff, which doesn't really totally make sense as to why I'm sent it. This is a bit grubby, but I don't have a wipe to hand to clean it. But this is the Umberto Gianni Curl Magic. My hair is poker straight. Honestly, I'm not certain why I was given this. That said, I did enjoy using it. I use it just every now and then, maybe like once a week on the ends of my hair. I do think with masks, even if you do have finer hair like I do, just using it on your ends just once a week is a great idea, especially if like me you have knotty hair. But I wouldn't buy that because it's just definitely products that are more aimed at my hair type. Also used the Deeply Nourishing Hair and Scalp Mask by Senspa. I really like this. I don't think this is too expensive. I think it's actually quite affordable, and I liked it because it wasn't overly heavy. Would definitely repurchase this. I use this on my scalp, which I don't always do, but it's nice to kind of have that as an option, which I feel like you don't typically have with a mask. A very spa-y scent. Not for everyone, I think, but yeah, overall I did enjoy using this. 3 wet hairstyling products. Firstly, a mini Charles Worthington Volume and Bounce Mousse. I really like this. I think I mentioned this before actually, probably a few times. If I'm ever traveling and I need a mini of some sorts, I always pick this up from Boots at the airport. I really like this. It is a tiny bit sticky like most mousses are, but if you are looking for volume, I think this does it really well. You need to work it in a little bit because it is a mousse, so it's not like the easiest product to use, but I do like it and very affordable. And the whole Charles Worthington volume range I think is good. Maybe I'm gonna try their like root spray soon, because I have one on the go at the moment. It's really good. It's not like super expensive, but it is in my recent favourites. Like I said, it's always nice to kind of try cheap products too. I finished 2 Philip Kingsley products. I really do like Philip Kingsley. The elasticizer is great. Again, probably not a product that I would invest in because my hair is so fine that I don't think I need like a really deep conditioner. Yeah, all the products I've tried I have liked. These are kind of volume sprays. The first one, I guess not so much a volume spray. This is a density thickening protein spray. So this is supposed to actually thicken your hair, I think. I have got like a serum that you put on your scalp as well, which I guess I'll talk about when I finish. I don't know if I have committed to this range enough to kind of comment too heavily on whether I loved the whole range and whether I can see a difference in the density of my hair. I think hair density is just a really tricky one. I don't know if I believe you can make that much difference, which I do think is a bit controversial. Like, I have always had fine hair. I'm not gonna suddenly have really thick hair if I start derma rolling, like rubbing lots of chemicals into my scalp. I just don't think that's gonna be the case. But equally, I do think I can maintain it at its base density. I don't know, what am I trying to say? I think I can kind of keep it to the best it can be, like my head of hair can be, which is totally different to someone else's head of hair. I liked this. I'm a bit unsure whether it's worth the £40. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I saw enough difference. And then what I do like again is Philip Kingsley's Maximizer, and this is a root lift spray. I really like a root lift spray. It's much easier to use than a mousse, but doesn't typically offer you as much hold in my opinion. There's a tiny bit in this. The reason I stopped using this was because it's like black inside, and I do not think it used to be like this, and so I'm very worried about that. And also I liked this. I don't think it's the best root lift spray I've ever used. It definitely wasn't a bad one either. The black inside kind of freaked me out. Onto body. I've only got three things that are body-ish to talk about. I'll start with the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Bum Bum Cream. I never thought I would finish one of these because they are thick, and I also am really bad when it comes to creaming my body. I am a bit lazy, I'm not gonna lie. I cream it in summer or if my legs are bare, but generally that's it. Yeah, I'm a little bit tanned, it's been a bit sunny in the UK, but my skin isn't overly dry, but equally it's not super hydrated. And I've been trying to moisturize a little bit more at least, and I've been using this with an oil together to kind of lock that in. I think the trick with this is to use less. I think if you take out too much, it becomes like quite difficult to rub in, and also the smell can be quite overpowering. So lovely smell, nice product. You are, in my opinion, kind of buying it for the hype and for the scent. I wouldn't buy this size. Maybe I'd buy a little one as like a treat, like something fun to take away on holiday or something like that, but I probably wouldn't buy this just because of the price, to be honest. I have a Space NK enriched hand wash. This is lovely. It's just a hand wash. I feel like most hand washes are quite nice. I don't have too much else to say about that apart from I enjoyed it. I think it's like reasonably priced. I think it's about £16, which isn't wildly expensive, but equally you can buy a hand wash for like £1. I did enjoy it for sure. I finished the Feather and Down Sleep Warming Body Scrub. Fine. I don't really like things that I like just cater to sleep, because then I kind of feel like I shouldn't be using this during the day, and often that's when I have a shower and want to use a scrub. I mean, I did use it anyway, but then I was like, is this gonna make me fall asleep during the day? It didn't. I don't think it's like that strong. I probably wouldn't buy a scrub that's designed to put you to sleep, to be honest. The warming part of it, again, not my favorite. It feels a bit gimmicky. Yeah, not bad. I definitely finished it. It was fine. Wouldn't repurchase. On to skincare, and two products I didn't quite finish. This is the Image Skincare Vital C cream. It's got an expiry date on the bottom, and it basically has way past its expiry date, so I'm going to just say bye to this. I do like the Image Vital C range, but unfortunately other things came in and I didn't quite manage to finish this. This was given to me, and I do think it was given to me like very close to its use by date, but this is the Environ Focus Care Youth Plus face mask. I had an Environ facial and I really liked it, and I used this a couple of times and I did like it. However, like, it expired very quickly, so unfortunately I'm just gonna get rid of that. If it was a couple of months, I probably would carry on trying it, because I do think that as long as it like looks okay, like with that I don't dip my fingers in it, it smells fine, I would probably keep using it, but it is quite out of date now, so I am parting ways with that. One that I would say isn't quite skincare is the Skinny Tan Tanning Drops. Skinny Tan has changed its name to something else. I'll put it here. I can't remember what it is. I liked these. I don't like how the packaging on a lot of fake tan kind of changes colour. I'm currently using some other Skinny Tan drops and liking those as well. Again, affordable and do the job. I probably will repurchase these at some point. Then onto the LMS Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. I think I speak about one of these every time I film one of these videos. I really like this. It is expensive, but it's a nice treat. I love a cleansing balm, and LMS cleansing balms are up there in the probably top 5, I would say. Really good. If you are an LMS fan, I would highly recommend checking out QVC. They always have some great ranges. Actually, LMS, Lizzo, and what's the other one? And Philip Kingsley. If you are a fan of those brands, like, definitely have a look on QVC. They have some excellent deals all the time. I really liked this. I definitely will keep using this. It's just like, it's nice to also use other products, and at the moment I'm trying it at the e.l.f. one, which is like super affordable. I'll admit the experience isn't quite as nice as this. Equally, the price is very different. Then I have the Heritage Store Rose Water and Glycerin Hydrating Facial Mist. I had this for ages. It was like one of those products that just kind of like hung around, and then when I finally got into it, I loved this. I think this is excellent, and it's really like got me into like face mists and essences and that sort of thing. Basically a mist is empty, which you spray on after you've cleansed your skin, and then you put your skincare on top of it, and it adds that extra layer of hydration, and I think it worked. I really enjoyed using it. It's got a really rosy scent, which probably isn't for everyone, but I don't like rose scents, and I still really enjoyed this. I think the rose kind of adds to its relaxation part of it. I liked this a lot. This is only a 15ml, but I loved this. This is Sunday Riley Good Jeans. I think I will definitely repurchase this. I just think this is lovely. If you're looking to kind of brighten your skin, this has glycolic acid, and I found it really done that. Like, some days I would apply this and wake up the next morning and be like, oh, my skin has never looked this good. It is expensive, but yeah, I just found it really worked, to be honest. If you are looking for a affordable vitamin C, I would always recommend the Q&A vitamin C. Again, really adds a beautiful glow. I think it's about £15 from Holland & Barrett, and I just think it's one of the best affordable vitamin C's out there. And I think unless you have very sensitive skin, I think almost everyone should be using a vitamin C. I personally swear by them. I don't use them necessarily every single day, but a lot, and I feel like it makes such a big difference. Aveeno Calm and Restore Oat Gel Moisturizer. This is nice. I just don't like a gel. I wouldn't have bought this, I don't think. It's like nice enough, but I like a more emollient moisturizer. It's personal preference. However, if you've got sensitive or oily skin, definitely worth trying it out. Really affordable, and I really rate Aveeno, especially if you have sensitive skin. 2 eye creams. Firstly, we've got number 7 Future Renew Eye Serum. I really like the Future Renew range. This was also very nice. It just really hydrated my under eye. I really like Lumen as a brand. This is the Nordic Sea Glow Awakening Eye Cream. Again, really nice. I don't often use a vitamin C under my eye, but I did enjoy using it. And honestly, these, I really like scraped every last little bit of them out because I liked both a lot. They're both about £27, I think. Oh, what would I pick? Actually, it's quite nice to have both. I know it's a bit of a cheat, but I probably wouldn't use a vitamin C under my eye every single day, but kind of alternating between the two, I really enjoyed. Another really affordable product, which I feel like if you are on a budget, you need this. This is the Elf Holy Hydration Triple Bounce Serum. This is a hyaluronic acid. Love hyaluronic acid. I think everyone should be using a hyaluronic acid, and this one's about, I think, £8. I would use this morning and night, and it was just great, especially for the price. And then something that's way more expensive is the Clarins Double Serum Complete Age Defying Concentrate. I really liked this. It was one of those products that I would apply it and then be like, oh, my skin looks so good the next morning. However, this size, which is 50ml, is £92, which I personally couldn't really justify. If you can, and you kind of just want like this one product that will make your skin look great every evening, I do think this is really good, but it is just pretty expensive. Micellar water from NIVEA, fine. I don't love micellar waters. I don't have a single micellar water that I like truly love. I have some that I don't like, but this one was just fine and affordable. I use micellar water so rarely that like having to hold on to one forever is a bit annoying, so a small size works for me. Aveeno Tolerance Control Soothing Skin Recovery Cream. This is nice, especially if you have sensitive skin or your skin barrier is not doing that great. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I've had this a bit long, and that's why it's in here. Yeah, I have it. This is expired, so it hasn't quite finished, but it has expired, which is in here. This is quite emollient. I do like an emollient cream. If you don't like an emollient cream, this probably isn't for you. Again, a brand I really trust. I would definitely consider repurchasing this. And then we have the Alpha H Hyaluronic 8 Serum. Really loved this. £55. Whether I could justify £55 for a hyaluronic acid, I don't think I could, but it is lovely. Then I have a mini Lumen Nordic Hydra Moisturizing Prebiotic Oil Cocktail. If you have dehydrated skin, this is probably the product I would go for. It's under £30, not this size, like a proper one. I loved using this. It's just really like nourishing and hydrating without being like thick. I really enjoyed this. And then finally, some makeup products. Glossier Concealer. I loved this so much. I think it's probably one of my favorite concealers. I think recently we've kind of stopped rating pot concealers as much, but this and the NARS one are amazing. This is a really like creamy concealer. Gosh, I really did finish it. A really creamy concealer. Great for the under eyes, I would say, more than to cover spots. I would use something a little bit drier like the NARS to cover spots. Yeah, just so lovely. You can even use this all over your face, like just under your eyes, around your nose, and like just kind of everywhere, like sheared out. And again, beautiful finish. I loved this. I would definitely repurchase this. I just feel like I've got a few other products that I'm also enjoying at the moment, but definitely up there with the best concealers, I would say. I finished the Hourglass Veil Primer. I don't know if I fully finished this, but I've had it a long time, and then like this started happening, and then I was worried it was gonna like pop, which I don't think it would. I'm just gonna let it go because I've got other products. This was really good. I did like it. However, I couldn't justify Hourglass prices for an eyeshadow primer. I just think there's other ones that work well for a much cheaper price. There's nothing overly different about this. I think other primers work really well too. You're covering it with your eyeshadow. I would invest in other Hourglass products before this, mainly their concealer, which I really like. But so really lovely, not worth the price though. I must have other mascaras I finished, but over on my TikTok at the moment, and actually on my shorts here, so if you are interested, have a little look. I am trying lots of new mascaras, so I'm gonna get rid of all the mascaras that were open prior to this week. This one I've had, it's been hanging around for really long, maybe like 9 months I would say. Definitely time to get rid of it. This is the Maybelline Waterproof Falsies Surreal Mascara. I really liked this. I bought it because it was waterproof and I really needed a waterproof mascara. I think it's good, but I feel like most mascaras are like good and then some are like amazing, and this is just good. Kind of the same thing that the No. 7 Lash Impact Ultra Intense Mascara Lash Impact. Again, not quite amazing, but definitely a good mascara. Out of these, honestly, I probably couldn't pick because this is waterproof and I feel like you do get a different finish. You get a bit more thickness out of the No. 7 and a bit more length out of the Maybelline, but you get much more lift with this. But for me, I'm a volume girly, so I would probably pick the No. 7, but I like that this is waterproof. Final product is my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I don't prime that much and I don't set my makeup that much, but if I were to set my makeup, I would use this. Or the Elf. Those two I think are like the holy grail setting sprays in my opinion. There's other ones that are good, like the Charlotte Tilbury one is good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those three as holy grail. But obviously the Elf one is so much more affordable. This one is still relatively affordable, I think, especially because I don't use it that much. I really like this size. I really enjoyed using it. I would definitely consider repurchasing this. I've just got other ones at the moment that I need to use. But that is the end of this video. I fear I have spoken too quickly and I always get told off for that. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at that, but I feel like this video might have been a very quick one. I'm really sorry if it was. Someone did say once that they watch my videos on 0.75, so that's an option. I watch everyone on ×2, but maybe I talk too fast for ×2. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love filming these videos and I do find the feedback to be quite positive on them. I will have another one of these probably about September, I think, where I would have finished lots of sunscreen. I'm trying to test lots of sunscreen at the moment, probably more body products and then the usual products as well. But thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Check out all the links below. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and I will see you next week for a new video. Bye.